What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. I'm your girl, lady, and the chef, joined by my co-host.
D Blocks 21. What's up?
It's another day. Happy Thursday. The Knicks played yesterday on the road against Brooklyn. Knicks had a nice, impressive win over Brooklyn. The Knicks beat Brooklyn Nets 121 to 102. The Knicks are now sitting at 16 and 11. They're fifth in the East. The Knicks are 6-4 in their last 10 games. They're 7-3 at home, 9-8 on the road. I thought this was a really impressive win by the Knicks. Lots of good things to cover and recap over on that game, plus some news we can touch on as far as Mitchell Robinson and news regarding that. But for you, um, what were your thoughts on yesterday's game, that win?
Oh, that was a nice win with our crosstown rivals.
Yeah,
But like Hartstein said, oh, it's a rivalry. But anyway, Randall, it, to me, he's getting better.
yeah,
Um, that was anytime when he played that bully ball and just down low, and he watches his, the 3 points. We don't need them, not a lot from him. So I think when he take less of those, we there's a great possibility of the Knicks winning. Um, Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, what can you say about him? He's just that dude. And
yeah,
and and I like when not that I like, but when Jalen's off, when you get the guys to pick up the slack,
right.
because let's face it, we know what he's capable of, but he's gonna have an off night or two, three, and he's entitled to it, just like the other plays. But when you are still being consistent, that's a win-win. He had an off night, he picked it up, in the latter part, but overall. You know, yeah, that was a nice win for them.
Yeah, I thought the Knicks did a great job running.
Oh
The
yeah.
pace was fast. You couldn't tell that the Knicks had just came from California. I thought that it was a very high pace game. I don't think Brooklyn expected the Knicks to come out with that high energy. And that also was the first time that the Knicks beat Brooklyn at Barclays in 4 years,
Yeah, yeah.
which is crazy to me because I'm like, and I think I was saying this before to you, like, I don't know why the Knicks can't seem to beat Brooklyn like that. Like they seem to be a problem team. And the Brooklyn Nets are not that great of a team. You know what I mean? Like minus maybe when they had KD and Kyrie, but they're not a good team like that. So I'm not sure why that's been a problem for them to actually beat them. But I thought that was interesting to hear, to read that stat rather, that was that first time beating them um, in 4 years at Barclays. But
Well, that's to me, that was one of the reasons why they did have a better team. So, not that, they should have still
no, it
beaten
wasn't the
them,
whole
but
time. It was that only
no,
time
no,
when they
not
had.
no, I'm not saying the whole time, but at one point they did have, not that was a better team than the Knicks, a better team than they have now put together, with Kyrie and KD. So, it's just a little, but yeah,
But it
but the
wasn't
Knicks,
the whole 4 years. The Knicks should have beat them at
no,
home.
I know, yeah,
I'm just saying it's inexcusable. Why haven't you beat them
yeah,
at
true.
Barclays? It took you 4 years to do that. It's kind of like ridiculous if you ask me. But it's neither here or there. The Knicks did get the win. Julius Randle did play 34 minutes. He finished with 26 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. RJ Barrett played 27 minutes. He finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Isaiah Hartenstein played 30 minutes. He finished with 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 points. Jalen Brunson played 32 minutes, finished with 16 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo played 22 minutes, had 23 points, finished with 8 rebounds. Josh Hart played 31 minutes. He's the only one who actually finished with a double double. He had 13 boards and 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Emmanuel quickly started off slow, played 24 minutes, finished with 19 points. Quentin Grimes played 18 minutes, had 5 points. Taj Gibson played 13 minutes, and apparently that was too much for him because he did say he was tired. I think I sent you that clip earlier. Um, and then as far as team stats, the Knicks were 46% from the field goal percentage. Brooklyn was 36. Three pointers, the Knicks were 13 for 33 at 39%. Brooklyn with 15 for 47 at 31. Free throws, the Knicks were 20 for 25, finished at 80%. Brooklyn with 13 for 17 at 76%. The Knicks finished with 54 total rebounds, Brooklyn with 49. The Knicks finished with 12 offensive rebounds, Brooklyn had 17. The Knicks did have 42 defensive rebounds, Brooklyn had 32. Assists, Knicks finished with 24, Brooklyn 25. Knicks had 7 blocks, Brooklyn 9. Knicks finished with 8 steals, Brooklyn 6. Both teams finished with 11 turnovers, and the Knicks did outscore Brooklyn with points in the paint at 52, which is a little lower than what the Knicks have been averaging in the paint at 60 ish a night, but they did outscore them in points in the paint at 52,
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn with 40. But I thought DiVincenzo, like you just said, I thought he played a well rounded game. And I think seeing the way DiVincenzo is playing to me proves this is why he should be starting,
Oh, for
just
sure.
because he has that veteran experience and he can knock down the shot. And for me, it's not even just the fact that we know that DiVincenzo could shoot. I think DiVincenzo also brings the other little things to his game that we didn't see with Quentin Grimes, and that he drives to the basket. He will rebound. And that was another thing I wanted to touch on too. I thought a lot of guys did a great job rebounding the ball with Mitch being out. They didn't just leave it up to Hartenstein and Randall to go after the boards. The fact that other guys, RJ Barrett had 5, Jalen Brunson had 7, Dante DiVincenzo had 8, Josh Hart had 13, Randall had 7. So I
Then
thought that the fact that other guys went in and crashed the boards was really nice, and shows that if you work as a team collectively, you may get out rebounded against certain teams with the bigger, stronger, taller guys, but you can't just rely on two people to just get the rebound. I think it's going to take a collective effort with Mitchell Robinson being out, and even with Sims being out, and even when Sims does come back, I think that other guys need to come in and help out on the rebounds. But I thought
yeah,
Dante DiVincenzo has been showing that he can come in the games, and it's not just about his scoring. He cuts to the basket. He made nice passes to other guys. And with Grimes, a lot of his game is more stagnant. He needs to actually get the ball. And eventually Grimes
yeah.
will learn to move without the ball and do the other intangibles. But seeing Quentin Grimes out there, I feel more comfortable with him in the starting lineup
You
versus,
mean,
because we're getting DiVincenzo in the starting
yeah.
lineup versus Grimes, because I'm noticing more production from his side versus with Grimes. You was just really, you're hoping and praying for something on his end, but you was just getting something from Randall Brunson or either RJ. So I like what I'm seeing from DiVincenzo. It's about time, because I was saying this. That was one of the things I was saying. Oh, I'm gonna monitor the minutes between Grimes and DiVincenzo, because I feel like I said I felt like, and I knew this was gonna happen, that DiVincenzo was eventually gonna take his spot, just
Oh
because I
yeah,
saw
for
what
sure.
experience he came from and watching his tapes when I saw he got signed to the Knicks. So I like what I'm seeing from DiVincenzo.
Oh, for sure. He does a lot. He's like seems to be salute. He's like all over the court. He's rebounded. He's going for the steal. He's he's hustling when he does get that rebound. So it's a lot of little things that you see that you don't see in Grimes.
Yeah.
Compared to Dante DiVincenzo, the hustle plays that he does, and maybe it is that Nova connection. I mean, I don't know, but it's working.
Yeah.
And you ride it till the wheels fall off. But just overall, he's like he was, and I guess that that's something. And I did see, I read something about that was one of the reasons why they did sign him, because they know what he's capable of. And
Right.
that was a nice pickup, a nice addition for the Knicks.
Agreed. A
You
solid
know, just
shooter.
yeah, and that's what yeah, they was like how he spaced the floor, and they need like a pure 3-point shooter. Not that he solely relies on that, but he's pretty, he's like money, at the three. So that was a nice little pickup for the Knicks. Um, and just like outside, the score, like defense, I mean, the Nets, they couldn't contend, defensively, with the Knicks, and they both came off a road game. So just the Knicks, they like I said, when they strike first and establish themselves on that floor,
Right.
they're a force to be reckoned with. And when they like establish and you play composed. You now you controlling the tempo. And the Knicks, they just didn't have an answer for them, offensively or defensively. But mainly on the defensive end. And then just ran to just overall, like I say, when he plays like that and don't rely on a three, is he his percentage, and it just makes him a better, shooter, on the floor. And
Yeah.
RJ, he gave us what 14, but that's still not enough. I mean, again, we talked about that in the last one. I don't know if he's in the slump he's in because again the migraines, but he got really needs to you know put out more production on that
But do
floor.
you think RJ's defense is enough? Is that enough? Because his defense has been pretty good, but do you think that the defense could is creating a balance even though he's not giving us as many points as we would like to see?
Yeah, his defense is there, but you got to realize when you run across, okay, hypothetically, what is he going to do Saturday? What contribution is he going to make outside of defensively? So when you run across a cross paths with those 600 teams, what are you going to do? And RJ, he's awesome when he attacks the glass. Like when he don't settle just so much and rely on his 3-point. Even his outside, and when he just attacks the basket, he's another guy that's strong, like a Randall. And then he could switch it up. Be the left or the right. So you he needs to hone in on that just a little bit more. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing where he don't want to go in, so now he's like going shooting outside. But he can attack the glass just a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like that we're not getting that high percentage production of him being like more aggressive in games.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what that's about with him, and him holding back, but I would like to see him do that more. I did want to point out with Isaiah Hartenstein. He did have 10 rebounds, he had 3 assists, he had 2 blocks.
Hmm.
So again, he's been averaging about 2 to 3 blocks a game. And I did want to point out that out of all the pretty much guys that started and played on the game, and I'm not going to include Taj Gibson in this, he didn't have a turnover and he
Wow.
only had one personal foul. So my question to you is Isaiah Hartenstein getting better and stepping up to the plate? Because I feel like he has a lot more to his game to unleash. Like if he starts including that hook shot, the 3-point shot, I mean, this guy could be like, he can be to that level of like what Mitch does. But I heard Tony Crow say this on with Sim last night. He was saying how with Hartenstein, no, he's not no Mitch. And I know you've been saying this, but I think with Hartenstein, he's more fluid and more mobile in his game. So just imagine if he worked on that hook shot in mid range, like we saw Taj shoot last night, that corner mid range by the free throw line, and then implement that 3-point shot. Is this guy
Yeah.
getting better?
That's what I was going to say. I want him to take a three so bad because
I
I know
know,
he could make it. He's holding out on us,
right?
but definitely, and who's that? Is it Han? Calls
Talent.
him blocker Steve,
No,
blocker Steve. What
I
up,
haven't
Han?
heard that one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They call it, yeah, either Han or Wally Zerbiak. What that's what they named him. But yeah, Hartenstein. Prior to him starting, I mean, he's only starting because Jericho's out. But when he was coming up off the bench, he was like he was out. For a center, he was up there with the other echelon,
Mhm.
backup centers and starters. You ask me, so he's only going to get better the long as he stay healthy and the more he play. He's only going to get better because running reps is how you get better. You unfortunately you don't get better sitting on the bench.
Right.
So I just pray for continued good health with him. And man, and nice addition, stepping in for Mitch, so that's a plus for us.
Yeah, and also Hartenstein is also going to be due for a signing. So,
Mm,
you know, I think the
well,
Knicks are going to have that's another decision the Knicks front office is going to have to make. Do you want to sign this guy, which to me would be kind of silly to let him go because even if you don't want to
yeah,
have
for
him as
sure.
your main center, he still is a solid backup. And like I
Definitely.
said, when I was telling you the last podcast episode, like if the Knicks coaching staff was smart, they would tell Hartenstein to like work with a coach on his shooting and that floater so that way for the next season he gets even better at that. And
Yeah,
now he could be like, an Al Horford, like a Porzingis, like an Embiid, like a Jokic, and you have more repertoire offensively to your game.
yeah,
Because he's not afraid to get dunked on. He's not afraid to step in and get blocked. Like he's very aggressive. He may not have that intimidation presence like Mitch does to not want guys to be hesitant to come into the paint. But I think he is, he steps up to the plate. He's willing to help. He's tall. I like that he does reach in and, he goes for the blocks when guys come in the paint. So, to me, I just feel like he has a lot more of his game to offer for the Knicks. And I hope that the Knicks do, pay him and give him the bag and, keep him around. So I just think it would be silly to not keep a guy like him around on the team.
but if he continues, down low, and if he continues to block those shots, that's a presence right there. So you now
Mhm.
cause guys like, whoa, yeah. I mean, we're not asking him to turn into a Mitch. He is who he is. But if,
Right.
if he continues down low and blocking them shots and being that force down there in that presence, guys will think twice. So that's something to think about. And outside, like you said, working on an outside game and just the little things as a hook. And again, I'm just waiting for a three, and I hope I'm watching that game if he ever take one. Um, but now I have a question for you. Randall's been on a tear. I mean, he's been solid.
Mhm.
I to me, I know my answer, but do you think he's found his rhythm?
Yeah, I think Randall, he's showing this comfort level. I feel like he's settled into his game.
Yeah.
I think Randall is locked in. He's focused. He's showing that he can do whatever he wants to do against any
Mm,
team, against any defender. Um, Randall just seems to be really focused and locked in. He's going to the moves that he knows he can do against guys. He's making tough baskets, like I was alluding to the last episode, which I'm really impressed with. He's rebounding. I think I just saw maybe one kind of like crappy pass that he made, but somehow DiVincenzo caught it where they were running down in Brooklyn and it was a fast break. and Randall threw such a terrible pass to DiVincenzo. Like DiVincenzo was, he ready for the pass to come more so like ahead of you, and the pass was behind him. So he had to go and get the pass, and he, had to thank God he's quick. He was able to grab the pass and then still make the layup. Which sidebar to DiVincenzo, I did want to point out, I'm really impressed with the way I want to get back to Randall, but I love the way DiVincenzo, like when he lays the ball up,
Oh yeah,
he has great control.
yeah,
He's not like, some like a Josh Hart. Sometimes you're like, ooh, 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 or RJ,
yeah,
you're not
yeah,
sure if the layup is gonna go in. He has really great control, whether it's a fast break or, you know, he gets a quick pass and he cuts it. He has really great control when he goes up for his layups. I was like watching, I said, wow, like I really like the way this guy, he has control when he's laying up a basketball. And somehow Quentin Grimes thinks doing that reverse. He got a couple of oohs, but it's because he was in Brooklyn. But it was a nice move when Quentin Grimes did that. But Randall, I think Randall has settled into showing that he can definitely be voted again for
the
NBA,
awesome.
yeah, All Star
Yeah,
and all first NBA,
yeah, for
So
sure.
I think that Randall's just showing that he's still a really great player. Um, and I think he's doing what he needs to do because he saw what he was capable of doing last season. And the season before last, Randall was good, but I thought last season's really where he stepped it up and brought that skill set. But I think Randall is just, he's really physical. He's doing a great job getting boards. And then I love when he does that hesitation move and guys fall for it. And then he goes
Oh
back up and
yeah.
puts up the layup. He does that really
Hmm.
well. Um, his defense has been good, but I think his defense could still be better because I would like to see him fight over the screens more. He always gets caught up where I notice this happens to him a lot where a guy will set a screen and then Randall, to me, he's too late, like a step too slow,
Yeah.
fighting over the screen to defend that guy that's about to shoot that perimeter three. So I'm always like, damn, like you got to fight over that. But otherwise than that, I think Randall is definitely in his bag now. I think he's showcasing that he's an all-star. I voted for him and Brunson for the all-star, but I, like you just was saying, with health wise, I just want Randall to stay healthy. I mean, he's pretty good at staying healthy and he's not injury prone, but I really like what I'm seeing from Randall. And if Randall continues playing this way, the Knicks are gonna go far and they can make it. And I want to point out, if the Knicks play like they did against Brooklyn, and again, I know Brooklyn is not one of the better teams, but if the Knicks play the way they were playing like a team these past few games together, because again, we know Randall and we know Brunson could give you 30 to 50 points. But if they play together like they've been playing without Mitch, they can go far still. I
Yeah, for
truly
sure.
believe the Knicks could still go far. You can't let or get intimidated just because you don't have Mitchell Robinson there. You know what I mean? And again, Sims will be back and he'll be able to give Hartenstein some time to get a breather because Taj already said he was tired playing that 13 minutes. And I heard a clip on ESPN radio with Han and Bart and Randall. They played the clip and Randall in the post game said, "Yeah, I told his ass." He said he better be ready to play. He said, "I don't want to hear he tired." He said, "He said, yo." And Randall laughed. He said, "I told him." He told me he tired. He said, "Yeah, you better come to play." He said he thought he was gonna come here and play 4 or 5 minutes. He said, "Nah, we ain't doing that." He said, "Well, we need you to come and play 10 minutes. You gonna have to play 10 minutes. If you gotta play 15 minutes, you gotta play 15 minutes." But I think Taj was in for a wake up because he was like, "Oh snap, they probably gonna need." He probably thought he was only gonna come in for 4 or 5 minutes occasionally, but either way, I like what I'm seeing from Randall.
Salute. We got Paris in there in the chat. Coach Bill.
Salute Parrish. Grimes will be fine. Quickly and RJ got to stop being selfish when Randall and Brunson are sitting. You think Quickly and
Yeah.
RJ being selfish?
Well, quickly he holds the ball too
Too
long.
long.
And
Yeah.
he needs to learn how to give up that rock just a little bit sooner than what he does. I saw the few possessions, it's seven and that, he does hold the ball. And RJ is another one, like they over dribble. They can be tend to be selfish sometimes, especially quickly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they do.
RJ needs to be a little bit more selfish and taking the
Yeah,
ball in to some degree. Like he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. To me,
yeah.
RJ's not aggressive enough. Like I think RJ's good and he's locked in on defense, but I think on the offensive end, as far as taking it to the in the paint, and even I would say some of his shots, I don't see RJ really doing that. He seems like he's taking a step, maybe two back. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah.
he's
He's
not.
aggressive.
Yeah,
Yeah. I said the same thing. I don't know what it is. Um, but yeah, he's not compared to when the season first started. Um,
it's
you
not the
know,
same. Yeah, it's not the
yeah,
same
hopefully he'll
player.
get on
But
track.
Quickly, I do agree with you. He is holding the ball too long. Like, and then by the time he passes it, it reminds you of what we were complaining about with Randall before. You wait till there's 3 seconds left to want to play pass the ball out, and now someone has to shoot it, which that did happen a few times yesterday. And I know one of the times Josh Hart made the three, and the shot clock was about to go out. But yeah, I salute Coach Bell.
Feel
Oh, it's Beal. Salute Coach Beal. Randall pulling out the old man at the wide post moves like a boss. Yeah, Randall is yeah, because Randall's not the quickest. But I think a lot of his moves that he's playing, I wish he had more of that Randall had more of a Euro step to his game.
yeah.
Like if he had more of that Euro, which is funny because you see Quickly use the Euro, you see RJ use it. Who else I
Well,
see
Brenda,
use it?
yeah, like he said, Brenda play like an old man. That's why he
Yeah,
doesn't have that quick step.
no.
So that's why. Um, I saw I was watching NBA today, and they had Becky on,
Oh
and
yeah.
you saw that?
I was literally watching it before we went on how she was saying Brunson is too small.
Yeah, to my they need that dude, and I
She said
beg to
that one
differ.
A. Yeah, that 1A dude.
Yeah, yeah, I totally disagree with her. And then she starts naming names, I guess because they never won a championship. Um, but I mean, Brunson is that guy. I mean, do you feel he's undersized?
I think he is, but I agree with what Perkins was saying, and he was disagreeing with Becky. Like
Yeah.
Becky's thing was, well, when I was in a league, I was considered the small dude, the small player. She's like, but as somebody who was able to get buckets, she said, no, she said the only one I'ma leave out of that conversation is Steph Curry because he's like one of the
Hmm.
greatest shooters the league has ever seen, which I agree with her on that. Steph Curry is in a league of his own. We've never seen anything like that in the league. But like Kendrick Perkins was saying, and I agree with him 100%. He said, but you have to go back. He said, let's rewind back to when the Knicks was playing in the playoffs last season. He said, matter of fact, I'm gonna go back before that when he was playing with Luca. He said, you got to realize, he said, Jalen Brunson's been not just to the first round, the second round, the semis. He said he's been to the finals. So he knows what it takes to
What
get to that
takes?
to get to
Exactly.
that level. He said, and for him to have done that, and Shanae was saying, she said, well, yeah, he was there with Luca. And he said, I don't care if he was there with him. We're talking, he said, I'm talking simply about Jalen Brunson. He said, I'm tired of people counting him out and discrediting him and what his skill set is because he said he has the skills. People have to start respecting what this man is doing. He said he gave you 50 against the Suns. He's dropping 25 here, 35. He said he's doing it against the elite teams. He said, which a lot of players can't do. And I agree with him on that. He said,
Yeah.
this man, he said, okay, and now let's go last year to when the Knicks win the playoffs. He said when they played the Cavs, he went and balled out. He said then when they played against Miami, he said, sure, Miami eliminated them. He said, but come on, he went toe to toe and heads up against Jimmy Butler and gave him a run for his money, dropping 30, 35 a night. Plus was hustling on defense and doing everything in his power to keep the Knicks in that game, in that series. You know, so in a series where some guys disappeared on the Knicks. So I think that a lot of people say this, that, and the third about Brunson, but guess what? Brunson shows up when it matters most.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can
I
guarantee if the
agree.
playoffs started next week, he's not going to shy away. Brunson's going to show
Oh
up.
yeah.
Now, I think a lot of Knicks fans, come on, let's keep it real. When the playoffs come, I'm gonna be looking. We know that Randall could score, but is he gonna show up? And I'm talking pre-ankle injury because he had moments where he was like holding back. That wasn't just good defense. It was like, well, where are you, dude? We need help. Same thing with Quickly. He faded away. But I think Jalen Brunson truly is the truth. You can't just keep basing guys' skill set off if they're good based off of their height.
Yeah, certain players rise to the occasion when in big games, and he's one of them. You
Right.
know, he's definitely one of them. He don't shy away. So it's like they live for moments like that. You know, just when they get to that moment and that game. Oh, and he's one of them. He's definitely not gonna shy away.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that, you know, he just he shows up big. He may have games where he's a little off, but he shows up when the Knicks need him most, and he's consistent. You know what I mean? And he's working with what he has and the players that he has around him. And but yeah, I think a lot of people don't put enough respect on Jalen Brunson's name. And to all the Knicks fans out there, you guys got to vote for him and an All Star.
Yeah.
Like don't leave this man out. And he's breaking his neck every night, carrying a team on his back. And not enough people have enough respect for that man. You know what I mean? The same way y'all Randall fans be going hard when especially me. I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna say when I and other people be critiquing him and getting on him. And I do that from a standpoint of because I see the potential in Randall. Like you were saying, like he has the potential to take that leap
He's
to just be
capable. Yeah.
great. Right. He has that capability. So if I see it, if he was trash, I would just say, yo, he's not good. But I'm seeing what he's doing, and truly, I'm giving him his props because I'm impressed. Make me eat my words. That's my thing as a Knicks fan. Like I wanted Grimes to do that with me. I wanted to be like, oh, well, let me shut up and stop talking about that man because he out there
Hmm.
balling. But with Randall, I'm like, yo, I see what you could do for this team, and if he remains locked in, the Knicks could truly go far because actually the Knicks are doing better than where they were projected for this point in the season so far.
Yeah.
The Knicks are currently sitting fifth in the East. Now, can the Knicks? No, they're not going to get to the first or second. We already know that's going to stay locked down the whole season. Let's just keep it above.
Yeah. They
Between the
between
Bucks and Boston, they're not. Nobody's gonna in the
and
East is
Philly.
gonna get that. And Philly, you're not gonna get those top three spots. Now, Orlando, they could possibly drop a few games, but even still, I don't even see them trying to lose that fourth seed spot. So, but the Knicks should have that same mentality. You don't want to go to seventh and eighth. It's not pretty.
He
It's
said it's not
not.
pretty.
It's not
He
pretty.
said it's not pretty. Well, Pat
Uh,
said, well,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'll read that. No, go ahead, read it.
No, I said, well, RJ, I'm talking about on the break. You got to learn to give and go. Yeah, I hear you on that one. 1 on 3 fast break. Gotta stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I do notice that with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I think it's also because RJ isn't quick. Not making an excuse, but he's not that fast either. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think. like I said, I think RJ's defense has been decent, but I think RJ has taken about 2 steps back
Yeah, offensively, yeah.
compared to the way he was playing in the beginning of the season. And I don't know if this is a slow point for him in the season or a slowdown point. He has those points in the season where unfortunately RJ has a slow streak and then he picks it back up. He's doing well, and then he may have another a month or two where he's slow. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, he definitely. I would like. I need to see more from RJ. I need to see him be a lot more aggressive. Coach Bill said Becky would have won with the Liberty, but ran into the buzzsaw of Cooper Swoops. Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean, I
see,
feel,
but the difference with Jalen, he has that help. If Randall keeps on that tear and keep playing the way he is, play the way he's playing, the Knicks have a better shot just like any other team. Hartenstein, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, rebounding, yeah, the Knicks will go far.
but is that enough with just Randall and Brunson? Because right
No,
now, to me, you can't factor in RJ because
no,
he's
definitely
getting to
it's
that
not
level.
enough. No, it's not. And then even Tibbs, doing his post game, he was like saying, "Oh, Randall and Hart is capable of playing the five." To me, it's gonna become exhaustive. Like you can't keep that up. So no, it's not enough. Yeah, they need another wing and they need some more centers because if Taj is getting tired after a few minutes, like dude, what good are you? What do you
Right.
think you was coming here to be a cheerleader on a bench? We
Yeah.
don't need cheerleaders. We need players and
I think he
ballers.
did. I think he did, and that's what Alan Hahn was saying. He said, "I think Taj was under the impression." He said, "Because remember, this time last year, Taj was sitting on the couch watching Knicks games and watching other NBA players." He said, "But I think Taj was under the impression he was going to come in for about 4 or 5 minutes." He said, "But he was going to be more of a veteran presence in the locker room." But to me, and you and I already discussed this, that signing Taj wasn't a good idea. I don't agree with that. I think out of all the big men that the Knicks have, why the heck would the Knicks go after Taj Gibson is mind-boggling to me. I just think that that was just such a silly move to bring him in. I mean, it has to be someone else they could have looked at and said, "Oh, we could bring this guy in." um, who could have just gave you a bit more, as a backup that you could have used. I mean, I know I've heard of a couple of names swirling around in conversations, but um,
Hmm.
I just think that right now, what the Knicks have, it's not enough.
Oh
Like you
no, for
just
sure.
banking
I
on
agree.
two guys to kind of, carry the team. And then my biggest thing with the Knicks is that they don't have enough help from the supporting cast guys. Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Emmanuel Quickly. And I'm gonna even throw RJ Barrett in the conversation. I'm not gonna include Grimes because Grimes is not there yet. But those four guys, you need contributions from. Now,
Yeah,
DiVincenzo is showing that, but I want to see it more on a consistent basis. But those four guys have to step in and be contributors.
I mean, and like even like a big, like Paris said, like a DeRozan, and we do we need they need another wing. I mean, DeRozan he still has it. But with the regression of RJ, you need somebody to fill in that role. Because we're a quarter way at the season, and RJ's taking steps back instead of you
So,
know getting better.
mhm.
Um, and even a big, you're gonna need another center because Hartenstein's not going to be able to do it, on a night in night out basis. And then Jericho, he's practically, although he's been with them, to me he's like a rookie because he hasn't had reps. to, and yeah, he if you
Exactly.
play him, he's going to continue to get better. But right now, we need that scoring presence like now as somebody to match up with those other elite centers out there. Um,
Right.
you know, enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think adding DeRozan, the Knicks need to really try to go after that move. In my opinion, I think that right now, for me, DeRozan would bring more productivity on the offensive end for the Knicks by doing that. By adding signing DeRozan, just because
yeah,
he is great in that mid range. We know I feel more confident and comfortable with him shooting just because he can make those needed baskets that the Knicks would need. And it'll take some of the pressure off of Randall and Brunson, knowing that they have another guy who's a solid scorer.
scorer. Yep,
And then you also would have DiVincenzo, who's a scorer. So I think DeRozan is also good at playmaking and the one on one. You know, he has that ball handling skill set that he could bring. And he's clutch when you need a good basket, you know, or at the end of games or whenever. He can be a great addition. Whereas with, RJ Barrett, the shooting is could be very streaky.
yeah,
It could be very streaky with RJ. You don't really know like exactly what you're gonna get. So I think DeRozan would be a good signing for the Knicks. I don't think that Detroit is trying to get rid of Bogdanovich. I think they're
yeah.
gonna hold on to him. I don't think they're looking to
With
get
the
rid of
way
him.
they're losing,
Right,
but with the prices right, anything is possible.
absolutely. I hope we had Drummond just to beat the hell out of KP in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, he would be a good addition. I know somebody named. I heard the White Howard, and I heard it was somebody else, Cousins, but both of them are playing overseas.
exactly.
And I'm like, I don't. And then someone said they're not sure if Cousins would play well under Tibbs.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't see him being a good fit. Jericho says we need 30
Need
games.
30 games. 30 games to what? Get acclimated or get better? Or what do you mean by he needs 30 games? Because I just feel like Jericho Sims he's not ready either. But I agree with you. Yes, Jericho Sims does need to get the playing time so he can get better and get his feet wet being on a court in actual live games and not just playing in practice. But I don't know. He's another one that to me he's just not ready as far as playing
But
against.
but that's the thing. He has to play so he can get ready. He'll never be ready as long as he's sitting on the bench. You know, that's the only way he's going to get better. He
Mhm.
has to get knocked around and so he can get better. That the bench being a bench warmer is certainly is not going to help him.
Agreed.
I mean, should he start? Perhaps no. But I think he definitely needs that playing time for sure. Um, you know, and because and if not, then they need to try to bring in somebody because I know you was gonna discuss the situation with Mitch to get back where he was last year when Mitch was hurt. Yeah.
To get back to, I mean, but what was he? Did I miss it? What was he really doing that when Mitch was out? What he was doing before he got hurt this time?
No, from last season. Well, he
No,
was a
I
little bit.
know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like, did I miss that? Because I'm like, was he doing last year what he was doing prior to that to him getting
He
hurt, his
he,
ankle?
he never really made that much of an impact, but he's a good backup, a third string. I don't.
Yeah, third, not a
Yeah,
backup second. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. I just mm-mm. Um, but Mitchell Robinson right now, there was news that came out that broke around 11 p.m. From the Athletic that the Knicks applied for the NBA disabled player exception for Mitchell Robinson. Um, the medical staff for the Knicks believe that Mitchell Robinson's ankle injury that he sustained this month will most likely sideline him for the remainder of this season. Um, I know I read that they were saying Tom Thibodeau downplayed the injury initially, and confirmed the x-rays taken at halftime the night came back negative, um, and saying it was nothing crazy. But then 2 days later, the team announced that Mitchell Robinson he would need surgery and to be reevaluated in 8 weeks. Um, so I don't know. From what I'm reading and listening to, it doesn't sound good. Like Mitch is gonna be back. And I know, I'm sure you heard about Mitch when he went on Snapchat and he, posted, how he feels like he does all this hard work and then he something happens and he takes a few steps back. I feel bad for the guy because he's
Yeah,
been starting off this season playing really well. And it sucks because a lot of times in the NBA, this happens a lot to big men where, they sustain these injuries like this. And Mitchell Robinson has been that player that has sustained injuries. It seems like at least every year playing with the Knicks.
yeah, he's injury prone. Yeah,
Yeah, he's very injury prone, and I like the guy. And I know there's a lot of Knicks fans who go hard for Mitch. I think Mitch is a great on the offensive rebounds. He was number one in the league for that, and then he's a great defensive presence on defense. He does a great job with blocks. His hands are active. But I think that's one of the things that the Knicks do have to worry about staying away from is injury prone players because what good is a guy that's going to be sitting on a bench for you for majority of the season? And not saying that Mitchell Robinson has done that. I'm just saying that this seems to be, an unfortunate pattern with Mitch is that he sustains some kind of injury every season. But if the Knicks do sign for the disabled player exception for Mitchell Robinson, I believe they will have up until March 11th to use it. And they have three options. So they could sign a free agent to the contract for the remainder of the season, trade for a player in the final year of his contract, or place a waiver claim on a player in the final year of his contract. So, what are your thoughts on?
they need help now.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
you're playing great. You know, you can't bank on next year. They need help now, and to me, they should explore looking for a big man because Sims, I know he needs a playing time and he'll get it. But right now, we're talking in the here and now. Um, they need to definitely look into getting a center, whether he's coming off the bench after Hartenstein or coming before him. But they definitely need someone like ASAP. And I hope they don't wait until like you said, they have until March 11th. But to um definitely, I guess, make that decision. No,
Mhm.
I'm all for them getting a big guy now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that they should wait long on that because that's
Mm.
that's that's a lot of games from now until March 11th.
Yeah, yeah,
And at that
that's
point, you're going to be getting ready to enter playoff season.
yeah, that's 10 weeks. Tibbs will Mitchell Robinson by playing him again. Yeah, and that could have possibly hurt his ankle. You
Agreed.
know,
You should have just kept him out.
what that's what he did with Brunson. Like, yo, Tibbs, like that's the same. Like sometimes you question his coaching and just his like rationale, his thinking. Like the time he left Brunson 20 seconds in, it was a
Mhm.
losing cause. Mitchell came back after he hurt his ankle. Sometimes you as a coach, the
Right.
players may could say, "Oh, I can." Well, you gotta look out for the interests of the player, let alone the team. It's the
Mhm.
player first, and say, you know what, just sit this one out, or call a play in if it's a losing effort. Sometimes you gotta question like, what is this guy thinking? Where's his head at?
Right.
So, and that could have possibly been the turning factor for Mitch. He could have tweaked it even more by playing on it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
you
and
gotta
made it
like Tibbs.
worse.
Yeah, made it worse. Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are things. But overall, like the Knicks, they've been playing great. This is what to their credit, they played 17 games, you know, and on the road, and that was the most amongst any playoff team. So you want to stay on that winning streak and stack wins and not just two. You want to keep stacking them, because it's going to definitely move you up in the standards. So that's something you want to strive for. I always say it's anybody's game at any given day. And so I feel that they definitely need to explore all their options in the best interest of the team.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the Knicks really do need to take the necessary moves to do that because you don't want to wait too close to the playoff time and announce that player that you bring in. They have to try to get acclimated and adjust to the team. Do it
Yeah,
ASAP so this way that guy or two guys that you bring in and trade in and bring in, they can get adjusted to playing with Brandel, Brunson, the other guys on the team. So, but my thing is, who do the Knicks explore to try to bring in as a center?
mm. Paris said Kelly. What's that? How you
Olenek,
pronounce it?
Olenek,
Olenek.
yeah,
And Coach Bill said Drummond. Those are two excellent options.
yeah. I think both of those two guys would be good because I think the Knicks need somebody who's you can't just bring in a guy who could just rebound and block. Kelly
Yeah,
could also shoot the three. You need somebody with high energy who's mobile, and very their game is very fluid as a big man. Because the NBA now it's different. It's not like back in the 90s where the big man would just stay on the post, maybe do a couple of moves here and there. Like now, guys are shooting from corner threes. They're shooting beyond the
yeah,
arc. Guys are not
yeah,
just staying down low and dunking. Like it's a different game now. And I think when you play that five center position, that power forward, you have to have that versatility within your game to be able to, not just be a defensive presence, but an offensive presence. So I think the Knicks do need to look to explore to bring in like a solid. I heard also Noel Nerlens, but I'm not sure about that one.
yeah. Well,
I'm not.
there's a few that hasn't been, that's not playing him. Favors. There's a kid from the Hornets. I forgot his name. He last played with the Hornets. But yeah, there's some options out there.
Mhm. Tibbs believes in next man up, but won't
Yeah,
keep players ready.
yeah, that's his famous saying.
Yeah,
But
next man up.
that's so true.
Olenek passes great and rebounds and shit. Yeah, he does. And that's what the Knicks need because this is why I don't understand why Tibbs doesn't allow Hartenstein to be able to shoot the three occasionally because that would stretch the floor out for the Knicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus having him camped out. Because to me, one thing I really hate with the Knicks offensively is that both Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein, they will be down low in the paint and they're in the way. Now, sometimes it's for good reasoning because I notice they both do a great job where they set the screen so whatever guy is driving to the lane, whether it's Randall, Brunson, RJ quickly, they're setting that screen and blocking that guy from coming to defend whoever's driving for the easy layup, right? So it works
Yeah.
out. I've seen them do that plenty of times and it's great. But a lot of times when they're standing down in that paint area, their defenders right there on their heel, right there standing there. So it creates this like this almost clutter in the paint area. And a lot of times I'm like, I hate that they like, especially with Hardesty because he can shoot. So I'm like, if I'm an assistant coach on the Knicks, I wouldn't mind if occasionally Hartenstein took that mid range shot by the 3 point. I mean, excuse me, by the free throw line in the
Yeah.
corner, or a side pocket, mid range shot or a quick little floater. Like I think that they need to be able to. And a lot of times I'll see Hartenstein, he stands like this and he's ready for the ball, but there's too much clutter in the paint. It's like guys are there where they can steal the ball or he's not going to be able to get it. But I blame that also too on like the way Tibbs has the offense where I feel like he should be more involved in that. And I don't know if it's because his Tibbs doesn't want him to shoot and he just wants him, but you can't have players just be one dimensional. You gotta other teams, you look at them, their bigs are shooting threes. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying you gotta have the handle and the ball handling skills like Embiid is doing great things on the floor. But he works on that. But
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
would like to see the Knicks be able to utilize Hartenstein to space out the floor because when you have a big with that skill set, I would take advantage of that. I think that would be a great thing for them. I like Kelly, but that means we got to deal with Danny Ainge. I mean,
Yeah. Danny.
Danny Ainge has been a problem,
Yeah. He always puts
but
these
I
high
think that
price tags and on his
yeah,
players. But hey,
yeah,
for the right price, anything is possible. I
exactly.
always say that.
Yeah, no, but it's true. It's true, and I think that yeah, Danny Ainge does put these high price tags. He must have, I don't know, maybe he has some beef with somebody on the Knicks front office or the Knicks organization where, somebody screwed him over. So now he's just, everything is high price for him. But I do think that the Knicks have to make some kind of moves, getting another backup center quickly. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if it's that the Knicks don't want to mess up chemistry with who they have now, and they may be afraid to, again, afraid to take a risk. The word
Hmm.
that I keep using with them to try to bring somebody else in. So, we'll see what happens. But the Knicks do play Saturday. Kicks off a back to back against Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee is playing tonight against is it Orlando? I believe they're playing. Yeah, they're playing Orlando Magic. The score is 91-97. Milwaukee's up. It's the fourth quarter. So that's going to be interesting to see if they take that game. But what do you think are the keys for the Knicks to beat Milwaukee, being that they've struggled to beat them so far this season and last year,
My thing is Giannis, but we know Giannis. He's gonna get to the basket.
regardless?
Because he has a lot of moves, under his belt, whether it's the Euro, driving to the basket. He's quick, he may even attempt some threes.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's like but they're beatable. Like I says, at any given night is anybody's game. Dame, he seemed to have found his little rhythm, so he's shooting better. And then you got Lopez, out in the perimeter. He camps out there. He doesn't even play down low anymore. He
No.
don't. He's camped out there. So you definitely got to hone in on him because he can hit that three.
Yeah.
Um, again, just play. It's a solid defense. You know, and guard the perimeter. I mean, because at this rate, you know what Milwaukee's gonna do. You played them what 2 times already?
Already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's hope RJ can have a great game and pick it up a notch, and let's see if we could get some balanced scoring from him. Um,
Yeah.
After that, all everything's up in the air.
Yeah. I think that's the key. The balance scoring amongst several guys. It can't just be Randall having a good game, or maybe Brunson doesn't have a good game, or vice versa. Brunson has a good game, but then Randall doesn't have a good game. I think, or if it's just both of them having a good game, I think that I hate when the Knicks play Milwaukee and it's only like two guys that have a good game
Yeah,
and everyone else fades out and doesn't contribute. And I'm like, yo, we needed you that game, like quickly. DiVincenzo, RJ, Hart. So I think it's going to be key to see Hartenstein be aggressive on the boards and box out as much as possible.
yeah,
Randall and the other guys helping out on the rebounds. I think that the Knicks are going to have to run and come out with high energy and set the tone from the first quarter.
yeah,
Have a solid, strong third quarter right after the half and come out strong. I think that the Knicks are going to have to just not rely on the 3-point shot. If they're making them, great. If you're not, they're going to have to drive and try to get Milwaukee in foul trouble. And the
yes,
Knicks are going to
yeah,
have to guard the perimeter against Milwaukee because those guys could shoot. And you got to try to stop Dame as much as Giannis as much as possible. From just coming in and doing these Euro steps and doing spin moves into the basket. So I think the Knicks are going to have to come out and play together also as a team. It's going to be so important that we see them come out together and play team basketball and not individual play. You know what I mean? When they play together, they're a lot more successful.
yeah,
When they move the ball and guys are moving without the ball and cutting, they're a lot more successful. And when guys are contributing, they have to, with them having Mitch out, guys are going to have to step in and help out with the rebounds. But I don't want to see the game be close and then all of a sudden Milwaukee pulls away late in the third or early in the fourth, and now the Knicks are down by 12. They're down by 16. Don't allow the game to even get there, or keep it tight the whole game, and then here comes Dame or Giannis now and going on a run the last couple of minutes. Like, I think the Knicks have to learn how to, even if you don't have the lead, get a lead and maintain the lead, you
yeah, yeah,
know? So, and then I think it's key that the Knicks don't allow losses in both games of the back-to-backs against Milwaukee. You got to take at least one of them.
yeah.
So if you can't give it to us Saturday, don't disappoint us on Christmas Day. That's all we want for Christmas is a win against Milwaukee and on Christmas Day.
Exactly.
So you
Mhm.
got to take one of them. You can't just you've already lost to them twice. Aren't you tired of losing to them? So you have to take one of them. And I think it's going to be crucial that the Knicks take advantage and get a win against Milwaukee in one of those games.
And while Sims yeah, plays Sims and iHeart together against Milwaukee. Sims can use six hard fouls against Giannis. Use his ability to move. Sims, from what I gather, he's still out. He was going
Yeah,
to be out at least 1 to 2 weeks, and this is only what been week one. So I don't
yeah,
I don't think Sims going to be ready on Saturday.
same.
Um, yeah, definitely, Coach Bill guard the three. Yeah, I'm telling you, because Lopez he just camps out in that corner, and it's lights out for him.
Yeah, they're gonna have to guard Lopez, Middleton. You're gonna have to guard those guys because they're those X factor guys that all of a sudden they start making shots and you're like, what the hell? How did that happen? Why are we not guarding them? Because the Knicks are so focused on those Giannis and Dame, they forget about the other guys, the supporting cast. Leon is a double coupon shopper. He not trying to give out no money. Welcome, Pops One, Pops One.
Salute, pops one, pops one.
Let's go, Knicks. Grimes got to play better. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure what's going on with Grimes. I
you
just
got
don't
what
think
you.
Grimes is ready. If you put it in a nutshell, he should be ready because now you're not starting. And I hope that also Grimes is watching like a DiVincenzo as somebody who's been in the league and can see like if he could do it, you should be able to do it also.
Yes, studying under him from the sidelines.
Right, right. We taking Giannis ball this
We, yeah,
Yeah. The Knicks need to do that. Seriously. Like take that game winning ball and get that guy out of here. Yeah.
yeah,
But I don't know if
yeah,
Tibbs is gonna play both of them together. He likes to play one or the other, which I don't know. I feel like it could work in certain games against certain teams. Yeah, agreed. Randall has to tighten up his defense when he plays against those better players in the league.
yeah,
Like a lot of times I've watched a defense against Giannis, Randall doesn't play him that well.
yeah,
I need Randall to deny him the basketball. You can't just play behind him and have your hand and allow him to catch. I mean, you got to deny him. And even if he is trying to get the ball, he's taller than you. He has a longer wingspan than you. But if you're denying him, make it harder for him to get the ball. Like I just want to see Randall like really challenge him defensively
yeah,
and then take
exactly.
it to Giannis offensively also. Like you got to be able to play against him offensively. The same moves Randall's been doing lately in these past few games, I want to see him doing that against Giannis and the Bucks on Saturday. I want to see him be aggressive, play that bully ball. I mean, Dinwiddie, he was no answer for Randall.
The whole Nets wasn't no answer
No,
for him.
no, he kept trying to flop to the ground saying it was an
Oh
offensive
yeah,
foul. It
yeah, yeah.
wasn't. But Randall has to do that against teams like Milwaukee. You got to take it to Giannis. You got to give him a run for his money because guess what? He's going to do that to the Knicks.
Don't make it easy.
Right. I want to see Randall be like aggressive. He has to come out and take it to those guys. Like we know you're going to score, but get Giannis in foul trouble. Get Dame in foul trouble. Get Brooke Lopez in foul trouble. The Knicks got to drive. Take it to the paint. They did a great job these last two games driving into the paint and driving into the lane and getting fast break points. And, you know, I want to see them be able to do that on Saturday and run it back and do it again on Monday on Christmas Day. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Looks like Milwaukee's pulling away from Orlando. It's 94-103 with about 4:40 left in the fourth. So, but yeah, anything else for you before we get out of here?
No, just for the Bucks. I mean, no, they they have length, they have size. So the Knicks just have to just match that. And they
Yeah.
can, you know? Big task.
Salute, big task at hand.
Salute. Knicks
And
pride. Yeah.
yeah, Knicks pride for sure all the way. Like we believe in the Knicks and truly believe that the Knicks can, you know, do things this season. And I think like a lot of Knicks fans, we're expecting the Knicks to get further than they did last year. To me, it's a disappointment and a if you only make it to the first round and get knocked out. So I think it's key that the Knicks try to have a better season record wise than last year and then get further in a postseason than they did last year. But it starts during the regular season, setting the tone and proving that you can beat the better teams in the league, like
Yep.
Milwaukee, like Boston, like Philly, like Orlando, like the Timberwolves, beating those teams like Denver and proving that you can beat those teams more than once throughout the season. And also watching out for teams who are sneaky like Miami. Because if I'm any team in the NBA, I'm not sleeping on them because they proved last year we was in eighth but still beat everybody and knocked them all out like this was a high school basketball tournament. So it is. I don't think you're seeing a a typo. It is. We're two Knicks chicks. Um, Coach Bill said the team thing is nice, but the Hoopers need to show out. JB versus Dame, Juju versus Giannis. Show that the people who is the dog. Show the people who is the dog for the All Star position battle.
Yeah, that's true. The Knicks got to come out with that defense intensity. Um, m- match the Bucks, and control the tempo.
Yeah, but I think Coach Bill. One thing that I was saying was we know that Jalen Brunson and Randall. We know they could score. We know at any given night, even against if they want to against Milwaukee, they could drop 30, 35, 40, 50 points. But the problem with that is that we're not getting a W at the end of the night. So the reason why I'm putting emphasis on the Knicks playing as a team is because prior to the last maybe 2, 3 games, the Knicks haven't been playing as a team. And yeah, they were able to pull out some wins,
Yeah.
not even some, a few wins. The problem is it's too much individual ball play. So Jalen Brunson one night he's giving you, and part of that is their own woes between Jalen Brunson and Randall, because there was some nights where Jalen Brunson was giving you 25, 30, and Randall was only giving you like 18, 19. So he was stepping back. And vice versa. There was games where Randall was going off, giving us, 29 points, and Jalen Brunson didn't have a good game. And there's gonna be some games where guys are gonna be off. That's understandable. It's part of playing a sport. But I think with a lot of great teams in the league, they have those two main guys. They have that yeah, those two guys, maybe three in some cases on some teams, where all three guys contribute on a nightly basis. And for right now, yes, Jalen Brunson and Randall are gonna have to be the two guys that step up and give it to us and what we need because, you know, RJ is just not cutting it right now. He seems to have taken a step or two back. But even if Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle go off on Saturday, will that be enough for the Knicks to get the W?
Um, I don't see them winning with just Jalen and Randall. Because Jalen, he even struggled that first game when they played. I mean, he got going, but he struggled in the first half. Milwaukee, they forced them to take some tough shots the last game. So, we gonna need, that the Knicks gonna definitely need that third or fourth option. Um, and Mitch played, in that game. So that's gonna be a tall task, but it's possible, but it's just gonna just make it all the more, daunting, or that hill harder to climb. Yeah, they can. But the Knicks are definitely gonna need that third and fourth option. So
Yeah.
you
And who are you looking for to be that third or fourth option?
well, of course, RJ, but you got DiVincenzo, as the fourth option. So we definitely going to need all four of them to be locked in for
Right.
there to be any type of success or W for Saturday and Sunday for the excuse me, Monday for that matter. You
Right.
know, they could take both of them. Mm. And Grimes coming off that bench quickly can't be the only man scoring, and
Agreed. Agreed.
Grimes is gonna definitely have to step up.
Yeah.
So
Grimes. Yeah, I think Grimes, he does. Like a lot of, someone said earlier, oh, I'm looking for Grimes. He has to step up. Grimes really does have to step up. He can't, he's given us what, like at the Brooklyn, he had what? He had a three and then he had a two. So he had what? 5 points. And that was
yeah.
like back to back. And one of them was because it was a really nice pass from Quickly to Grimes. Yeah, Quickly to Grimes threw him a nice pass. And I believe he had the reverse layup. And then I believe the other shot, the three, I don't know if Randall threw that to him or someone, he was out in the corner and he made a nice 3-point shot.
Hmm.
But yeah, Grimes would be solid for me if he was giving us like 12, 14 points a game
Yeah, on a consistent
on
basis.
a
Yeah.
consistent basis. I would be like, you know what? I can't complain because he's contributing, but we're not getting that from him. That's why a lot of times I don't bank or include Grimes in the supporting cast and what we need. Need RJ to drive and kick against Lopez versus Milwaukee. He can't keep getting shots blocked. Yeah. RJ drove. I don't know if you noticed that in the Lakers game, and Anthony Davis blocked his shot like 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah, I noticed.
Not
Yeah.
on the same play. I'm talking about like the ball went to the opposite end. RJ got it back, drove and did the same move, and AD tapped it back out. And I said, RJ, you can't keep doing that same move. He's
Went up
blocking your
against a brick
shot. A
wall.
brick wall, right? He blocked your shot 3 different possessions in a row because they ran the same play back.
Hmm.
Dude, he's blocking your shot. Jalen, DiVincenzo, and quickly got to beat them from three. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Jalen's can do it. It's just a matter of, if he has an on night. DiVincenzo as well. Quickly, sometimes he starts slow. I notice quickly sometimes the first and second quarter he's quiet, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
that mid to late third and fourth he'll go off. But then some games he's just quiet. But if Quickly could give us like 20 on Saturday, I'll take it. I'll take it because the Knicks are gonna, quite honestly, they're gonna need it. Big task at hand. I feel bad for Grimes. Why?
I mean, I feel because he's struggling, and you know, prior to this year, he was an okay player. He's struggling, and it's just something he can't get out his own way for whatever reason. He and he can give us that. He gave us that last year. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
just
true.
he's struggling and he's regressing. Although he himself wanted to come off the bench, he didn't start and because he thought that'd be a better move for him, but it hasn't played off, panned out yet. Not really. He gave us a solid game of what 17 before, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it's some other points, but it's just there's no consistency there with him. So you do feel bad for a player like that. He's I'm the question. He's not purposely missing. He wants to score because he know he's capable of scoring. So yeah, I feel bad for him, and I wish he could just get out that shooting slump and 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 and, and score because he know he can.
yeah.
You know.
I think you said it best though. I think Grimes he's in his own way. He's like blocking himself from being a good player because you
Yeah.
can't. I feel like at this point, yeah, I still put it on Tibbs and the way he's running the offense for Grimes, but or the lack thereof for Grimes
Yeah.
rather. But I also think a part of it is Grimes. I think Grimes has to work on. You see how DiVincenzo's not afraid to put the ball on the floor, and even though quickly he'll have the ball long sometimes, but quickly in the beginning he used to just shoot those threes. But quickly
Hmm.
could also drive to the basket.
Yeah.
Grimes has to work on learning how to drive to the back, put the ball on the floor, and create a move to drive to the basket. It don't have to be
Hmm.
fancy, but Grimes has to learn how to do that. You don't see him do that
Yeah.
unless
No,
he
you
gets
don't.
he's cutting to the basket and he gets a pass. But Grimes has to work on, or if a man he's being played one on one, he has to know how to create some ball handling skills to get past that guy to be able to, score the basket and make a basket. Grimes can't just stand. His offense is very stagnant, and he likes to just stand, in those 3-point perimeter areas and wait for the pass to get thrown to him. But that's not going to cut it in the NBA. It's not.
Hmm.
And I'm
No, no,
sure if
I
he was
agree.
on another team, you know, they would have Grimes would be flourishing, I feel like. But
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
it's, what it is here. Grimes got like a nervous stomach look with Tibbs. He just gotta relax. Yeah, he do. It's something with Grimes. He's not relaxed.
Yeah.
I feel like he's overthinking.
Hmm.
He's like in his head too much probably, and he's not just like letting the game come to him. But I think a part of that also, aside from the nerves and him, the lack of confidence and him being in his way, I think it's the skill set. And I keep bringing this up, but it's true. I think Grimes needs to work with a trainer on his skills offensively. Not, we know you could play defense. I think Grimes, yeah, he worked with JJ Redick, then he worked with whoever else on his shooting. But I think it's not just a shooting slump that he's in. I think Grimes needs to develop more of an offensive game under his belt. And
Yeah. Yeah.
offensively, he's more of like a one trick pony. He's just good for 3-point shots. But you're not even making him down to the percentage of like a DiVincenzo. So, how
Hmm.
far is that going to get you? Run 5 plays a game for Grimes, make a miss. That will get him back to 40% from three. Yeah, but Tibbs doesn't do that. That's what I was saying. That's part of the problem. Tibbs doesn't really run offensive well. Or maybe he didn't do it for Grimes. Because again, I see DiVincenzo getting the touches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not sure what's going on. And again, I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier. Is it the Nova connection? Maybe Brunson's passing off to his boy. I don't know. It's something I'm trying to make it make a little sense here. Because DiVincenzo's making the shots. He's knocking them down from different sides of the court.
Yeah, because like it seems like the plays are being ran, like the offense is there's something there for him as opposed to it wasn't with Grimes because he
Right.
was struggling and he so I don't know, it's just maybe well then again DiVincenzo's creating his own shots also.
But that's
So
what I'm saying. The offensive skill set, Grimes has to work on. He doesn't know how to, Grimes only knows how to catch and shoot. That cannot be enough. Not even just for the Knicks, but in the NBA. This is a professional league. That's not only going to get you but so far. And you know what? That can play with your mental, like you were saying. eh, Things like that could mess with you as a player because you like, damn, I'm only limited to what I can do because I'm not comfortable making other moves trying to get, because you know what I mean? You haven't worked on it. So if
yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't worked on other moves offensively, you're stuck to only doing, a certain repertoire of moves because that's all you know how to do. Because You haven't worked on anything else to elevate your game. Bottom line, Tibbs kills passive players. Grimes played point very well last summer league. It's the fear of Tibbs benching him after one mistake. You think so?
Yeah, but now he's coming off the bench, so but
And he
still
wanted
he's
that.
yeah, but he still don't get the playing time. I guess that he thought he was gonna get by coming off the bench. So I think he still feel that heavy weight on his shoulder, probably not as much,
Hmm.
but he still probably feel it. I wouldn't be surprised if he voices concern or displeasure down the road. It wouldn't shock me none.
Yeah. But the thing is, Grimes was getting the playing time when he was starting. I just think that he wasn't producing when he was starting offensively.
Because there was nothing ran through him. And
I
then he felt
also, but I also think it's because he wasn't making shots. Like he was off. So I think that's probably why after a while, because I think it was like how we were just saying, I think with DiVincenzo, because he knocks down more of his shots. Like forget even him driving and going to the basket. I think he knocks him down. His percentage is higher than Grimes. So they're going to run the plays around him. But with Grimes, even before DiVincenzo got there, he was having the opportunity and he just wasn't knocking them down. And again, was it the nerves? And then it trickled into his confidence. And, I mean, Tibbs does, and I'm sure, I know Obi said it too. You make one mistake, you go to the bench.
hmm
But I don't know. I mean, something's got to give. But
well, we'll see come Saturday how he plays.
yeah, maybe he'll make me eat my words and I'll be like, okay, cool. He must have heard the podcast. But I was thinking about sending Isaiah Hartenstein a DM just to be like, you could totally do a floater or three. we you know, we won't be mad at that. He looks better to me. Besides that defense he played in our wins against Donovan and Jimmy Butler, and the players earned him the chance. Agreed. Agreed. But that was last year. This is a whole new year, a whole
and
new season.
he struggled prior to coming off the bench, and he
Right.
still
Right. He was getting the opportunities, but we weren't seeing anything. And actually, Alan Hahn was talking about that on earlier on his segment on ESPN with him and Bart. And he was like, yeah, Grimes has just been struggling. He said, I don't know, maybe the Knicks may look to, trade Grimes whenever they try to work out a deal to bring someone in. He said, and I would because Grimes is just he hasn't been doing what the Knicks thought he would be as a player for them. So yeah, I would get rid of Grimes. I
hmm
like Grimes, but I'm just not seeing what I thought I was gonna see.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, same. Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else for you before we get out of here? Oh yeah, he's gonna turn it up.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. He
He
has
shows
that
up when it
switch.
matters.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's putting it. You nailed it. He shows up when it matters.
And
But no,
when the team
I
really
don't have
needs him.
anything. It's gonna, like I said, I'm super excited for this game Saturday, and I know the Knicks could capable of pulling out this win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Knicks. I'll be 1-2.
Yeah, for sure. I would
One and
like them
two.
two and no, but I'll take one and one.
I'll take what I could get. Exactly. I would like to see them take at least one of the games. But we'll see. But we'll be back definitely, guys. We wanted to come in and do a post game coverage of the Knicks versus Brooklyn. and touch on what we liked in that game. Randall flourishing, Mitchell Robinson possibly being out for the whole season. So, we'll be keeping our eyes out on the news of what's going to go on with the replacement for a big. Um, and I did want to give a shout out to the chat. Shout out to Knicks and Nice for always joining us. We appreciate you. Parish, salute to you. Coach Beal, salute to you. Who else joined us today? I know I'm missing a few people. Oh, Pops One. We haven't seen you here, Pops One. So if you're new, subscribe to the channel. And then Big Task at Hand. Salute to you for joining us too. Haven't
Salute.
seen you here either, so subscribe to the channel.
Hit that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend, tell your cousins. Hit the like button. It's free, guys. It does put us in the algorithm. And hit the notification bell because we do usually post before we go on. And this way you can know when we're going to be going live. And I know we'll be on this weekend doing some coverage. And we haven't said it already, but happy holidays to everyone. We hope everyone's gearing up for a nice weekend. And I'm sure some of you will be off next week. But happy holidays, however you celebrate. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us. And also to the replay gang, thank you all for rewatching our videos. We know everyone doesn't get to catch us live, but we see you guys when you join us and watch us afterwards. So we see you guys. We check the analytics. Those of you who leave comments under the videos, we do check all comments and respond back. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on either tomorrow or Saturday. We'll see you guys back here. And we'll be just breaking down the Knicks versus their first of a back-to-back against Milwaukee. So looking forward to that matchup. And until next time, everyone, peace.
We out.